timeless encounter. On the tiny planet B612, where sunsets could be summoned by moving your chair, the little prince lived a simple life. One morning, as he tended his volcanoes, a miraculous sprout appeared between the rocks. First meeting. The sprout grew daily until one golden sunrise it blossomed into the most exquisite rose the prince had ever seen, her petals unfurled like silk, catching the morning light. "Good morning," said the rose. The prince caught his breath. "You're magnificent." "Of course I am," the rose replied, a little shaky. "I arrived with the sunrise." Though proud, her voice trembled slightly, for this was her first bloom, and the universe felt very large. The courtship. The prince brought her a glass dome to shelter from drafts, watered her with care, and listened when she spoke of her 4 thorns. Defiantly, "Tigers, let them come." Though her vanity sometimes wearied him, her demands for the dome's position, her coy remarks about neighboring planets, he loved her deeply. The revelation. One evening, as the rose's petals glowed in the twilight, she whispered, "You must go." "Why?" the prince asked, heart aching. "Because you don't yet understand me," she said. "Travel, meet others, then you'll know why our bond is unique." As a single dewdrop slid down her stem, the prince understood this was her first act of true love, letting him go so he might choose to return. The promise. Before leaving, he performed every caring ritual one last time, adjusting the dome, removing caterpillars, keeping 2 for future butterflies, and whispering, tenderly, "You're perfect, just as you are." The rose straightened her stem, firmly. "Don't linger, it's cold." But as he walked away, her fragrance followed him farther than any wind could carry it. A journey of remembrance. After leaving his tiny planet B612, the little prince traveled across countless stars. Whenever he gazed at the night sky, he remembered her, the proud yet fragile rose. Stardust. Memories. On a desert planet, the little prince confided in the aviator. "Sadly, sometimes at sunset, I still move my chair out of habit, only to remember no one needs shelter from the wind anymore." His fingers traced the jagged edges of a glass shard in his pocket, the last remnant of her crystal palace. The fox's wisdom. After the wise fox taught him about taming and connection, it asked softly, gently, "Do you still think of that flower?" The prince stared at the bleeding horizon. "It's the time I spent caring for her that makes her irreplaceable. I fear 4 thorns aren't enough against the cosmos." The rose's vigil. The rose swayed in the stellar winds. No longer did she complain of cold or caterpillars. Instead, she whispered to migrating birds, "If you see my little prince, tell him I've learned to heal with dawn's tears." On her proudest thorn, a single dewdrop clung, unwilling to fall. Return to the stars. Guided by constellations of returning birds, the prince crossed the galaxy. As his feet touched familiar soil, the rose's voice rang clear, "You're late." But her petals burst open in full bloom, painting the entire asteroid in gold. And so they understood. Love isn't measured in moments, but in all the silences between. For even a universe apart, some bonds grow brighter with time.